Hello Cowboys Nation, welcome to another video, and without further ado, let's get to another round of news from America's team. Today we have some exciting developments to talk about, including a potential coaching change and some surprising player interest. Star wide receiver, who is highly respected across the NFL, has shown apparent interest in joining the Cowboys under a new coaching regime. This news is especially intriguing given the recent decision by the Dallas Cowboys to officially part ways with head coach Mike McCarthy on Monday morning. With McCarthy's departure, the Cowboys are now in the midst of their search for a new head coach, and things are moving fast. While most teams have already conducted their first interviews with head coaching candidates, the Cowboys are a bit behind in the process. Despite this, it seems that Jerry Jones, the Cowboys owner, may already have an idea of who he wants as the next head coach. According to NFL insider Jordan Schultz, Jones has spoken with former Cowboys legend and current Colorado Buffaloes head coach, Deion Sanders, about the possibility of him taking over as head coach of the Cowboys. This news has spread quickly across the league and has generated considerable buzz, as players are now more aware of the potential for Sanders to lead the Cowboys. This rumor has caught the attention of players, and one notable player, star wide receiver Davante Adams, weighed in on the situation. Adams was on Kay Adams's show on Tuesday morning when he was asked about the idea of Sanders becoming the Cowboys head coach. Adams responded positively, saying, "You talk about a player's coach. He has a special way of doing it. He's got the respect of most players in the league." This comment from Adams, one of the most respected players in the NFL, suggests that Sanders could be a draw for players, and his potential to lead the Cowboys has generated serious interest. Davante Adams' comments are particularly telling. While he doesn't explicitly say that he will come to Dallas if Sanders becomes the head coach, his words clearly show that he respects Sanders and would likely consider playing under his leadership. The fact that Adams spoke highly of Sanders in a public forum shows that he is genuinely interested in the possibility of playing for a coach he admires. Adams' appreciation for Sanders' coaching style, particularly his ability to connect with players and his respect across the league, is significant. While others in the football world have echoed similar sentiments, it is worth noting that Adams has a unique perspective, and his public endorsement of Sanders carries weight. With that said, it seems that the ball is now in Jerry Jones' court. The Cowboys management will need to decide whether they want to pursue this connection further and bring Adams into the fold. The 32-year-old wide receiver had a solid season, recording 67 receptions on 114 targets for 854 yards and 7 touchdowns. Even though Adams remains one of the top receivers in the NFL, he's likely focused on winning a Super Bowl, and he may be open to taking a pay cut to join a team that has the potential to compete for a championship. If the Cowboys are able to land Sanders as their next head coach, there's a real chance they could bring in Adams as well. Cowboys coach search. 3 potential candidates for role. In addition to the ongoing speculation about Deion Sanders, the Cowboys' search for a new head coach is heating up. Dallas has been linked to a number of potential candidates during this coaching cycle, but the team has kept things close to the vest, offering little information about who is on their radar. One of the most talked about candidates has been Deion Sanders, but despite the buzz surrounding him, Sanders has been clear about his intentions to continue his collegiate coaching career and remain away from the NFL. Given that, Dallas will likely look for a head coach who has either previous experience as an NFL head coach or has strong ties to the Cowboys organization. This narrowed focus leads to a few standout names who could realistically be in the running to take over as the Cowboys head coach. Let's dive into 3 potential candidates who could be leading America's team next season. Kellen Moore. Kellen Moore, the former offensive coordinator for the Cowboys, is one of the most prominent names in the discussion. Moore spent 4 seasons as the Cowboys' offensive coordinator between 2019 and 2022, playing a key role in making Dallas one of the most explosive offenses in the league. During his time with the Cowboys, the team ranked in the top 6 for points and within the top 11 in yards for 3 out of those 4 seasons. The only season where Dallas offense didn't reach those impressive numbers was in 2020, when quarterback Dak Prescott suffered a season-ending ankle injury after just 5 games. After leaving the Cowboys, Moore spent the 2023 season as the offensive coordinator for the Los Angeles Chargers. Unfortunately, his tenure with the Chargers wasn't as successful as his time in Dallas, as the offense finished just 18th in yards and 21st in points. However, Moore bounced back in 2024 when he joined the Philadelphia Eagles as their offensive coordinator. This season, the Eagles have been one of the top teams in the league, ranking 8th in yards and 7th in points, despite injuries to key players like quarterback Jalen Hurts and wide receiver A.J. Brown. One of the key reasons Moore could be a viable candidate for the Cowboys head coach position is his experience working with the organization and with Jerry Jones. Moore knows the inner workings of the Cowboys and has a strong understanding of the team's offensive identity. Hiring Moore would also allow the Cowboys to keep up with the trend of hiring offensive-minded coaches, as many of the league's top teams are focusing on offensive innovations to win championships. Although Moore has never served as a head coach before, his familiarity with the Cowboys and his track record of success as an offensive coordinator could make him a top choice. Brian Flores. Another name that should be considered is Brian Flores, though the Cowboys have not officially linked themselves to him just yet. Flores spent several seasons as the head coach of the Miami Dolphins, but he was fired after 3 years despite showing promise. His record in Miami was just 24-25, and he failed to make the playoffs in each of those seasons. However, Flores has proved that he is one of the smartest defensive minds in the league. Over the last 2 years, Flores has thrived as the defensive coordinator for the Minnesota Vikings. Under his leadership, the Vikings defense has become one of the most disruptive units in the NFL. The Vikings finished with a 14-3 record in 2024, and their defense was consistently forcing turnovers, a key indicator of Flores's coaching ability. Given the recent success of his defense, Flores has garnered significant attention from teams looking for a head coach. Although some concerns remain about Flores's ability to lead a locker room, particularly given his previous challenges with quarterback Tua Tagovailoa in Miami, a change of environment could help him succeed. In Dallas, he would be inheriting an established offense with Prescott at quarterback and a dynamic receiving core led by CeeDee Lamb. This would allow him to focus on improving the Cowboys' defense without needing to develop a quarterback, as was the case with the Dolphins. Flores also addressed the issues in Miami, mentioning that his growth as a coach came from learning to adjust his leadership style. With his proven defensive acumen, Flores could be an interesting option for the Cowboys. Robert Saleh. Finally, Robert Saleh, the former head coach of the New York Jets, is another candidate that has been linked to the Cowboys. Saleh was released midway through the 2024-25 season after a difficult tenure with the Jets, but he remains a respected, defensive-minded coach. In his early years with the Jets, Saleh struggled to put together wins, partly due to the team's inability to find a consistent quarterback. However, Saleh transformed the Jets' defense into one of the best in the league, ranking 4th in both yards and points allowed in 2022. In 2023, the defense continued to excel, ranking 3rd in yards and 12th in points allowed. Saleh's struggles with the Jets were mainly due to the team's offensive shortcomings, but with the Cowboys, he would inherit a much more stable and potent offense. While Saleh does not have direct experience with the Cowboys organization, his success in New York, particularly on the defensive side of the ball, makes him a strong candidate for the Cowboys' head coaching role. Given his previous experience as a head coach, Saleh should be considered a top contender for the position.